This is VOA News in Washington. I'm Jeff Custer. The Regional Economic Community of West Africa, ECOWAS, Friday forged ahead with plans for a possible military intervention in Niger following the military coup there July 26th, raising tensions in the region. Though leaders of the West African nations expressed hope for a peaceful resolution to the crisis. Reuters correspondent Ali Alice Rizzo reports.
The regional bloc also pledged to enforce sanctions, travel bans and asset freezes on the junta which ousted former President Mohamed Bazoum on July 26. After a summit of its heads of state, ECOWAS ordered the activation of a standby force for possible use against the junta. It said it had not given up hope of a peaceful resolution to the crisis, but that all options, including military action, were possible. It is not clear how big the force would be, if it would actually invade, and which countries would contribute. Security analysts said ECOWAS force could take weeks or longer to assemble, potentially leaving room for negotiations. The junta has said it would defend the country against any foreign attack.
Hawaiian emergency management records show no indication warning sirens sounded before people ran for their lives from wildfires on the island of Maui that killed 55 people. AP correspondent Donna Warder reports.
I'm just so grateful to be alive.
Maui resident Candy Olafson tells Sky News that she escaped the flames with her life, but not everyone was as fortunate.
People are found in houses in a huddle, holding each other because the fire surrounded their homes before they could even get out. There was nowhere to go. And these are beautiful homes that are very old and they're made of wood. Those went up like a matchstick. Nobody had warning.
The fast-moving flames have claimed dozens of lives, and officials expect the death toll to rise. Meanwhile, Maui residents are asking why Hawaii's emergency warning system didn't alert them about the wildfires. I'm Donna Warder.
This is VOA News. Ukrainian officials report Russia fired missiles into an unusual western area of Ukraine near the border with Poland. VOA's Flashpoint Ukraine program talked with Eastern European Bureau Chief Miroslav Gazda about the attacks.
Western Ukraine is most of the safest area in the country, and Kolomyia, it's like a small town in the Western Ukraine, was hit by a rocket. The house was hit with three children lived, and one boy, 8-year-old boy, died. In Kyiv, in particular, the hospital, children's hospital, was under attack, and some debris from the rocket fell there.
That's VOA's Eastern European Bureau Chief Miroslav Gazda. Record floods in Beijing, droughts and torrential rains, extreme weather has dominated Chinese headlines in the past year, but climate change has been missing from discussion, especially the topic of China's own emissions. Reuters correspondent Lucy Fielder has more.
Record heat and historic floods in China this summer, but little public debate on climate change and what the world's top carbon polluter can do about it. China's CO2 emissions grew 10% in the first quarter of 2023. From a year earlier, according to the Centre for Research on Energy and Clean Air. China has set some bold green targets. President Xi Jinping has pledged to make the country carbon neutral by 2060. But experts want faster action. They worry Beijing is failing to engage the public, which could slow the transition. Climate change debate has been absent from media coverage of the extreme weather, campaigners say. State media and officials have said in the past climate change makes China more vulnerable to extreme weather, though this year few have made that connection or linked the climate to China's own emissions.
That's Reuters correspondent Lucy Fielder reporting. Wholesale inflation in the United States was up slightly in July, rising 0.3% from June and 0.8% from this time last year. Associated Press correspondent Ed Donahue reports.
Last month's increase in the Producer Price Index, which measures inflation before it hits consumers, was the biggest since January, but it still signals inflationary pressures have eased this year since reaching alarming highs last year. Inflation has moved closer to the Fed's 2% target level, but still remains persistently above it. 11 interest rate hikes by the Federal Reserve have helped ease wholesale inflation since reaching a peak in March of last year. Many economists think the Fed's most recent rate hike could end up being its last, in hopes of achieving a soft landing, taming inflation enough without causing a painful recession. Ed Donahue, Washington.
In Washington, I'm Jeff Custer. This is VOA News.
Thank you for watching. Can you do me a favor? Please leave a comment in the comments section below. That would really help. Thank you, and see you again soon.